Did you ever wonder what happened after the golden age of Ragnar Lothbrok and his sons? Well, 100 years later, the Viking world is about to face its biggest challenge yet, and a new generation of heroes is rising from the ashes. This is the story of Vikings, Valhalla. The series kicks off a full century after the events of the original Vikings show. The world has changed dramatically. Viking influence has spread across Europe, but so has Christianity, creating a deep and bloody rift within the Norse people themselves. Some cling fiercely to the old gods, Odin, Thor, and Freya, while others have embraced the new faith. This religious civil war is the powder keg just waiting for a spark. And that spark comes in the form of a massacre. The St. Brice's Dame Massacre, a real historical event in 1002, is where our story begins. The English king, tired of the Viking presence in his lands, orders the slaughter of all Danes living in England. This brutal act sends shockwaves across the North Sea. It's a declaration of war, and the Vikings, despite their internal divisions, are not the kind of people to let such an insult go unanswered. A great army is summoned, uniting pagans and Christians for one common goal: vengeance. This is where we meet our main characters, three incredible figures pulled straight from the sagas. First, there's Leif Erikson. Yes, that Leif Erikson, the legendary explorer from Greenland, son of the infamous Eric the Red. But when we meet him, he's not yet the man who will sail to North America. He's a skilled sailor and a hardened warrior, fiercely protective of his family and deeply loyal to the old ways. He arrives in Kattegat not seeking glory or war, but to escort his sister. However, fate, or perhaps the gods, has a much grander and more violent path in store for him. Leif is a man of principle, a stoic and thoughtful warrior who finds himself caught in a whirlwind of politics and bloodshed he never asked for. Alongside him is his fiery sister, Freydis Eric's daughter. If Leif is the calm sea, Freydis is the storm. She is a shield maiden in the truest sense, a devout follower of the old gods, and a ferocious fighter. She hasn't come to Kattegat for revenge against England. Her quest is far more personal. She's hunting a man who wronged her, a Christian Viking who carries a cross branded into his back. Freydis represents the heart of the pagan resistance, a symbol of the old world fighting to survive. Her journey is one of spiritual discovery and brutal combat, as she seeks to become a guardian of her faith, the last daughter of Uppsala. Then we have the ambitious prince, Harald Sigurdsson, better known to history as Harald Hardrada. He's a Christian Viking noble with a claim to the throne of Norway. Harald is charming, politically savvy, and a brilliant military strategist. He's one of the leaders uniting the Viking army to invade England. He sees the conflict not just as a quest for vengeance, but as an opportunity to secure his own power and legacy. He's caught between his Christian faith and his Viking heritage, and he forms a complex bond with both Leif and Freydis. Harald is the ultimate political player, a man who wants to forge a new future for the Vikings, even if it means leaving the old gods behind. And on the other side of the sea, we have the English court. King Ethelred's actions have doomed his kingdom to invasion. We see the internal politics of the English royals, the scheming and the fear, as they prepare for the great heathen army to land on their shores. A key figure here is Emma of Normandy, the English queen. She is intelligent, cunning, and a political force to be reckoned with, trying to navigate the treacherous waters of the court and protect her kingdom and her children. The first part of the story centers on the Viking invasion of England. Imagine thousands of longships crossing the North Sea, a vast army of the most feared warriors in the world descending upon London. The show does an incredible job of depicting the sheer scale and brutality of this conflict. The Siege of London Bridge is a particular standout, a masterpiece of action choreography and suspense. It's a bloody, muddy, and desperate battle that showcases the strategic genius of our heroes and the raw courage of the warriors on both sides. But the war with England is only half the story. The real conflict is the one brewing within the Viking ranks. The Christian Vikings, led by figures like the powerful Jarl Olaf, Harald's half-brother, see this as an opportunity to wipe out paganism for good. The pagans, led by the fierce Jarl Care and inspired by Freydis, are fighting not just for their lives, but for the survival of their entire culture and belief system. This tension constantly threatens to tear the Viking army apart from the inside. As Leif, Freydis, and Harold navigate this treacherous landscape, their destinies become intertwined. Leif, the reluctant hero, is forced to become the warrior he never wanted to be. Freydis embraces her spiritual calling, becoming a beacon for the old faith. And Harold walks a tightrope between his ambition, his faith, and his growing loyalty to his new pagan friends. Their personal journeys are the emotional core of the show, grounding the epic battles and political machinations in relatable human drama. The series is a visual feast. The sets, from the bustling port of Kattegat to the grand halls of the English court, are incredibly detailed. The costumes, the weapons, the ships, everything is crafted to immerse you in the 11th century. And the action is relentless. It's visceral and intense, capturing the brutal reality of Viking warfare without shying away from the cost of violence. What makes Vikings, Valhalla so compelling is how it balances historical fact with saga-fueled fiction. These were real people who lived extraordinary lives. Leif Erikson did reach North America. Harold Hardrada did fight for the throne of England. And the Norman conquest, led by a descendant of the Viking Rollo, William the Conqueror, is waiting just over the horizon, promising to change the face of Europe forever. The show sets the stage for these monumental events, weaving the personal stories of its characters into the grand tapestry of history. It's a story about faith, family, and the clash of civilizations. It asks what it means to be a Viking in a world that is rapidly changing. Can the old ways survive, or must they adapt to a new Christian Europe? There are no easy answers, and the show explores these questions through the eyes of characters who are complex, flawed, and utterly captivating. So, if you love the original Vikings series, or if you're just a fan of epic historical drama filled with incredible action, political intrigue, and unforgettable characters, you need to watch Vikings, Valhalla. It's a new saga for a new age, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single moment of this thrilling, bloody, and epic journey. It's a powerful continuation of the Viking legacy, proving that even 100 years later, their stories are as compelling as ever. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. Let us know in the comments who your favorite character from Valhalla is. See you next time.